I do apologise. I just got one of those days when the throat just doesn't work. And I make the point because speaking in front of people can be difficult. Can't it? It can be difficult to get up and speak in front of people. I panic. I'm all right behind a microphone, I think, but standing in front of other human beings I find nigh impossible on occasion. But what about the challenge that would face you if you had to do that and you had a prominent stutter or speech difficulty? It would certainly be all the more daunting, but that hasn't held back local woman Maura McGregor. After reading the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, what a great title, she decided to take up public speaking. And on Wednesday, she completed her level 2 in speech with the Foyle speakers. Maura's here, along with Bríd McGarvey from the Foyle speakers. Ladies, good afternoon to you both. Maura, just firstly, how are you feeling? I mean, this is another little milestone. We're on the radio. We'll have a bit of crack with it. How are you feeling today?
I'm very, very nervous.
Yeah. I'm intrigued with your journey, because if that was a difficulty that had presented itself to me in life, the last thing I would have wanted to do would be to speak in public. Now, you decided to nail this head on. Tell us a wee bit about yourself, Maura.
Okay, so I have a parastammer from I was 3. Mm-hmm. It happened to me after a hospital stay years ago. Parents weren't allowed to stay with their child, and I came home with the stammer, and I would say that it held me back most of my life, particularly when I was very, very young and I didn't really understand what was happening. Uh-huh. At school and everything, you wouldn't have spoke up to ask questions, or if it was your turn to read out loud or something, it would have really caused you a lot of fear and anxieties. Uh-huh. I did get speech therapy as a child years and years ago, but I didn't feel that it did me any use then. But I went back to speech therapy as a adult, and that was a turning point for me. But still, there's certain situations where it's really, really hard, like the telephone, if you're talking to strange people or new events. I still have a lot of fear.
Or sitting
anxiety.
On the radio. You're doing absolutely. I mean, it's brilliant. Congratulations. I mean, that you must have been a wee bit anxious maybe about even doing this today. More brilliant, and congratulations to you.
Very, very much so. I've been really, really anxious about it. But
well, you're started now, so yeah. As I say, but you're in now, and we'll all have a swim about in the pool now. We're all in the water. Come on in, the water's fine. Maura, what are I mean? Amazing, and Bríd, all the more impressive given the difficulty that Maura's just described.
Yeah, we find her an inspiration in the club, Mark. To get up and speak and face your fear. It's hard enough getting up in front of a group of people and speaking in general, but Maura having a speech impediment as well is even harder. Mm-hmm. But we find her actually very, very inspirational, and that's why we're so proud to have her in the club, and that really inspires other people, I think, just to be themselves and not be afraid to just stand up and be yourself and accept yourself for what you are.
I can't imagine how frustrating it could maybe be, and maybe has been in your formative years, maybe especially, Maura. Are you using a technique even now, or how have you been able to navigate it to this remarkable stage?
I think it is just putting yourself out there, and just trying it. Try and face your fear, and then I think that your confidence grows, and as your confidence grows, you do get a wee bit better. And
I note you're not, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not using the Maguire technique, which is to address the stutter with a little breath before it happens, and that can be helpful. You're not a Maguire woman, are you?
No, I'm not. No.
Yes.
I've heard of the programme, but I've never been on it.
But goodness, it's almost unnoticeable. I mean, as a child, was it much more difficult?
It was, yeah. Even in my adult years, I joined a support group, and even whenever I look back then, used to have to say your name, and I found that extremely hard. I just say instead of just saying your name, Maura. Yes. It was really hard. So I have really.
Is one of your?
Yeah,
and you're both named. You're you're Maura McGregor.
Yeah.
Goodness, how did you navigate that? How did you face M? How do you face it now? Because you just did it brilliantly.
Yeah, I think it's just through practice. So that was one of the reasons why whenever I found out about Foyle speakers, that I decided to to join, so that I would learn some new skills, and through the practice that I would get better.
Maura, tell me, is it something that you come to understand? Because in your brain, I'm assuming you hear yourself speaking and you're not stammering, but it's just for whatever reason. Have you come to understand why, you know, what's going on in it? I mean, or is it just one of life's mysteries that some people have these things and others don't?
Yeah, I think it's just what happened to me. I suppose as a adult, when I understood why I have it in the first place, that it was from a hospital state, that it helps me to have the courage.
Just like a traumatic episode, one thing in life, and that was all it took. Goodness me.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So, when these guys come and say, right, you're speaking on Tuesday, Mrs., or you're up next Friday, I mean, tell me how you approach that, because that's different again. As I say, I find this easier. I don't know about you, but put me in front of people and I feel the nerves. I wonder how you approach the public speaking then. And
yeah, well, there is a educational programme in Foyle Speakers, and you take that at your own pace, so there's nobody would tell me that you're going to be doing this on Wednesday, or you're going to be doing that. You just do it at your own pace. So far, I have given 2 presentations, and it's in front of a very encouraging group who give you very supportive valuations, and everyone there's for the same reason, and they're such a lovely bunch. And
the more you do it, does it become, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it again, and see, the next time there's a big fancy dance, I'm going to be the Toastmaster. Is that the way it works for you?
Yeah. Well, you feel, yes, the more you do it, the more it gives you the confidence to keep putting yourself out there, and I know that that's the only way that I'm going to overcome the fear
and
that I have.
Do you find that it kills it in a way? I mean, you're going to go home today and go, well, I've did live radio now, I've done my public speaking. I mean, it must, does that have the effect of killing it, do you think?
Well, I would say it gives your confidence and self-esteem a wee boost, because obviously it does have a terrible effect on your confidence and self-esteem, having a stammer. So the more that you do these things, I would find that my confidence grows, so it gives you the courage.
Yeah. And are your stress levels down a wee bit now from the start?
Yeah, they're down a wee bit now. Yeah.
And then when that happens, you can be yourself. And it's almost just like having a chat, which is all it is.
Yes.
I just think it's remarkable. But you know, you probably worried about this all night, did you? And
yes.
I bet you.
You have to work on keeping your anxiety and your stress down, or you wouldn't sleep at night or anything.
Yes.
You know, thinking about it. Yeah.
Well, I think that is most encouraging. Breed, the work that you guys do, it's not just for people with difficulty speaking, because you know sometimes people get a promotion and they have to give the presentation. Go, oh, jeepers, not anything but presentations. You guys work with comedians and on all sorts of people.
It's just whatever the individual wants to get out of it themselves, Mark. You know, I mean, it's for business people, it's for students, it's for mothers, you know, just storytellers, and, you know, dairy people are very much storytellers. And, you know, just getting up and having an opportunity to express yourself. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just, you know, whatever your story is. And you go along and, you know, it goes up the level. And, you know, so it's not just the speaking, it's the body language, and it's all incorporated in it. And as you go along, and then you take responsibility in the club to be a Toastmaster or to evaluate the evening and run the thing, you know. So
have you done that yet, Maura? Or was yours just the guest speaker bit?
I've taken on a few roles. Every night I leave, I try and put down my name to do something, because for the first few months I did just sit back and observe, and that was a coping strategy that I have used all my life, is to avoid sitting in the background and watch. So I have decided now that I'm here for a reason, and I have to keep on putting my name down.
Front row. Give me the microphone. It's such a can-do attitude, Mrs.
But it's a very safe place to do it.
Yes.
I have to say that now, and everyone's so nice.
Breach, were you there on Maura's first night when she broke the barrier?
Yes,
what was that
I
like?
was, Mark, and I seen her down the back of the room, and she was physically shaking.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over to talk to her, and she told me her story, you know, and I just thought, oh my God, I hope she comes back. You know, that is a really inspirational story. So she did come back, and you know, she's been at it for about a year now. Is it, Maura? About a year.
A year in April.
What did you speak about the first night, by the way? Was it just a wee general thing, or what?
Your first speech is about yourself, so
Yes.
I just said a
Your story.
wee bit about why I was there, that I was there because of my stammer, and I would like to become a more confident speaker.
Yeah. So what's next? It strikes me you've broken the boom. I mean, are you going to be doing we'll have you for the Wreath lecture so the BBC at this rate of going, no, right enough, what do you see as your next challenge? Because you're just ticking all these boxes off, aren't you?
You know, I would like it to be whenever I'm faced now with a challenge, rather than avoiding it, that I will have the courage to say, yes, I can do that.
Come in here for a week, and when I'm on my holidays, do this for a week now.
Oh, sure.
Listen, Maura, it's most encouraging, and fair play to you. That must have been tremendously difficult. I'm sure listeners like myself are most impressed with the courage of your conviction today. Breach, just when you're here, I mean, this could be a group that others maybe need to hear about, and just tell us what people need to know.
Yeah, and I think it's just kind of shows that, you know, it's just for anybody really, Mark, and it doesn't matter if you've got a speech impediment, or, you know, it's not about being perfect, it's just about being yourself. And that's the main thing. And for us, Maura is very inspirational in the club, and you know, we're just delighted to have her.
Well, thank you both for popping in. You have a large whiskey now, Maura. Maybe not a cup of tea. Well, thank you both. Maura McGregor there. What a remarkable story. Finding help and support, most importantly, in the good company of public speakers locally, from the Foyle speakers there, Breach, McGarvey, and the whole thing about that book must be recommended then as well. Feel the fear and do it anyway. If we all got up in the morning with that kind of an attitude, the world might be a better place, mightn't it? 712 66522 is the number of our programme. By the way, the Calais Road is open again. Katrina says, please.